Part of Jasper's economic development vision is a step closer to reality. More on that, plus the Sisters of St. Benedict are working on a project to help local immigrants, and Dina Hubler and Joe Beeler discuss the Du Bois County CASA tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin with part of Jasper's economic development vision coming one step closer to being reality. Last night, the Jasper City Council approved plans to implement a tax increment finance or TIF district within the city. The new area covers the vast majority of Jasper's industrial area. It stretches from near the Patoka River as far north as 36th Street, as far south as the southern city boundary near US 231, and most of the east side of the city. Now, the approval of TIF came after a lengthy discussion on the matter. Citizens and council members alike offered their opinions throughout last night's meeting. Councilman Kevin Manley echoed the feelings of many different people. He says the area involved in the TIF needs to be re-examined.
I'm not against TIF. I do believe that my personal opinion is it's too big of an area. We're covering really almost the entire manufacturing district in Jasper. I think it's too big. When it's been used and used effectively in the past, it has been, at least from what I've read and all the information that I've received, it has been more effective when you have a greenfield or a blighted area or somewhere where you want to redevelop that area.
Meanwhile, Councilman Ray Howard says all of the questions surrounding TIF are similar to those that have surfaced with past city projects. He pointed to the launching of the city's website and the recent beginning of the tax abatement program as his two examples. Like those two cases, Howard says the city will find a way to make things work.
TIF is in the same situation right now. New, never been done before here. Challenges and concerns abound. But if the past is any indicator of the future, there will be folks who will get together around the city and the county, and they'll come together and they'll figure out a way to overcome the challenges, overcome the concerns, and they will make it a workable and a beneficial tool.
In the end, Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz says creating a TIF district is a fulfillment of the city's vision. He believes that city officials have answered most of the questions surrounding TIF districts.
We heard from a lot of people at both the last two meetings of the council. We've had a lot of input and questions answered in between. It's been a long time coming. This was identified and very thoroughly encouraged in the 2010 comprehensive plan adopted by the city and built by the citizens. It says create this. So I'm very comfortable with getting us to this point. Whatever would have happened tonight, I think we had done our work to make sure that people are informed about what this could be.
The final step of the process is to have the Redevelopment Commission give its final approval. That could come at the group's next meeting on January 6th. A public hearing on the issue will happen at that meeting before any final decision is made. The town of Ferdinand has taken the next step in its ongoing phosphorus removal project. Last night, the Ferdinand Town Council approved using drying beds as a storage method for sludge that would come out of the wastewater plant. The council discussed three methods, with the other two being liquid land application and belt filter press with landfill disposal. Now, the wastewater plant would need 8 drying beds for all of the sludge the plant would produce. Each drying bed is 200 feet long by 100 feet deep. Sludge from the plant would be transferred to the drying beds, where the sludge would be dried out by heat from the sun before being disposed of. The sludge storage capacity would have to be increased due to EPA regulations requiring new chemicals to reduce the phosphorus levels. The new chemicals create more sludge. Drying beds turned out to be the most inexpensive option for the council. The drying bed plan would cost the town roughly $1.4 million compared to nearly $1.7 million for each of the other two plans. The main issue now for the council is to find land. A study done by Commonwealth engineers found that a 10-acre plot of land would be needed. Ferdinand Town Council President Ken Seacard pointed out that there is a 76-acre plot that is for sale that the town could look into. Another option that could be explored would be land on the north side of Ferdinand. That area has been discussed as a future site for a new wastewater treatment plant should that time come. Seacard says building on the north side in the future is not a bad idea.
Right now, as we look around town, our growth is going to the north. So this would be a very good benefit if and whenever that time comes that we have to move the wastewater plant and grow it somewhere else.
The council directed Town Manager Chris James, Wastewater Superintendent Roger Schaefer, and Town Attorney Bill Schoenfeld to explore the town's options for buying the 76 acres. The town would have to have 2 appraisals done on the land along with a title search before the property could be bought. In other business, Seacard expressed his concerns about an effort in the state legislature related to rural electric companies and annexation. State legislators will consider a proposal from State Senator Mike Kreider, which would prohibit Indiana's municipal electric companies from taking territory away from rural electric cooperatives or investor-owned utilities during any annexation. Seacard says the new legislation would cause more problems for Ferdinand.
When we go to spend that money, we have to watch what we do because we can't go put it into property that is not part of the town's electrical department. So it presents some complications, and for those of us in the municipal area, you know, when the lights go out, the calls come in to us, not necessary to the electric company that's supplying. So it becomes a challenge.
The council discussed a past incident where the town annexed an area near Interstate 64 that is now the south side of the town. That area had originally been served by Tell City's electric department. The 2 sides later settled in court, and Ferdinand's electric department began serving that area. Now, as for the state proposal, Indiana Energy Association President Mark Mossel has stated the plan is an attempt by RECs and investor-owned utilities to level the playing field, since those groups currently are not allowed to take territory away from the municipal electric departments. The Sisters of St. Benedict are now working on a new initiative aimed at helping local immigrants. The Sisters are currently working with the Board of Immigration Appeals to open an immigration office on the campus at the Monastery of Immaculate Conception in Ferdinand. Currently, there is no such office in DuBois County. Local immigrants have to go to Evansville to resolve any issues they may have. Seacard has put together a letter of recommendation for the Sisters. He says the Sisters are well qualified to help local immigrants. He says having the office would be a win-win for everyone.
You know, for us, it's kind of like an advertisement. For the Sisters, it's another part of their mission in the world. We had a place, I think, in Huntingburg, but it closed down because of lack of money that was able to keep it open. And the Sisters are very able, and they want to do this if it can be allowed.
The town council will look into any potential zoning issues just to make sure all would be well with having the center on the monastery campus. Finally this evening, a judge has sentenced a southwestern Indiana man to 111 years in prison for fatally shooting a man outside of a rural Greene County home and then raping a woman inside the home. 36-year-old Jason Lee Caldwell of Salisbury was sentenced yesterday for the murder of 54-year-old David Lamb near the town of Newark in July and the rape of the surviving victim. Lamb pleaded guilty to 1 count of murder and a level 1 felony count of rape last month. A woman who was found naked and bound with rope and duct tape told police that Caldwell had raped her at gunpoint following the shooting. Authorities say Caldwell waited outside of Lamb's Newark area home during the overnight hours of July 19th. Caldwell then shot Lamb once Lamb pulled into his driveway. Caldwell was arrested in an Indianapolis motel 2 days after the attacks. All right, coming up after the break, your local forecast, sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform with Dina Hubler and Joe Beeler. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.